This year, I read a lot of life-changing books that really changed my perspective on time management, productivity, and life in general. This book right here was definitely one of them. Hey there, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, then welcome to the channel in the new year. My name is Shivani and I'm an artist and creative entrepreneur based in the sunny city of Chennai in the south of India. Through my channel, I teach you how to improve your skills as a gouache artist and as a creative entrepreneur. In 2022, I was able to read a lot more books than I've ever been able to read before, and some of them were real gems, and I definitely consider 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman one of those. The book gave me very unconventional perspective on time management. The subtitle of the book is Time Management for Mortals. So the entire premise is about how our life is limited and we live only 4,000 weeks on average, and how to make the most of that time without burning out and without constantly feeling this pressure of needing to do more things or needing to add more things to our to-do list, and that pressure of the never-ending to-do list, which is very, very real. This book really teaches you how to deal with that and how to look at it from a different light. So in today's video, I thought I would share with you my perspective on this book, especially as an artist and as a creative, and how it applies into our creative work and into forming goals for ourselves for the coming year as artists. There are a lot of productivity gurus out there who have recommended this book. Ali Abdaal and Cal Newport were two among them, and it was by listening to both of their podcasts that I decided to pick up the book for myself, and I was very, very impressed with it. So let me start taking you through my approach towards goal setting for 2023, the 4,000 weeks approach towards it, and why I think this book might be something very valuable for you to read. So let's get back to the premise of the book, because I think that is something that is very, very important to understand about this book. So this book is not going to give you conventional advice about how to be more productive, how to get more done, and it's not going to feed you the false hope that you can get everything done, which is what I love about it. Oliver Burkeman starts off by just shattering that illusion of you can do every single thing you dream of, and I just found that to be very real. And for anybody who has felt the effect of burnout in their life and is more inclined towards just slowing down a little bit while still accomplishing great things and still doing great things with your life, it's completely okay to take a slower approach towards productivity, which is something I've explored so much through different techniques in 2022, and I think the perspective that this book gave me was very unique, and it really helped cement those thoughts that I was anyway having. So we all have limited time on this planet. We have 4,000 weeks on average, and if we try to do every single thing that we dream of doing, what's going to happen is that we will not even be able to accomplish few of them, because it's very easy for us to get overwhelmed and to fall into this cycle of always having too much on our plate and always beating ourselves up. And who wants to live like that, right? You want to end each day with some kind of satisfaction and wake up the next morning with some kind of anticipation towards the day to come. You don't want to every single day go to bed thinking I didn't do everything I was supposed to do, and wake up the next day thinking, oh my god, I have so much backlog, I have to do all my previous pending tasks and I have to do today's tasks, and it's just a lot. And when you look at it from the perspective of an artist, we have this creative work, and oftentimes work takes longer than we expect it to, just like with any other work in life, and especially creative work. It sometimes takes longer than you expect it to because of unexpected disturbances, and sometimes it just takes longer because you start pursuing some path within your work. You start exploring something a little bit deeper. You hit on something while you're creating and you want to spend that time to explore it deeper. Now, if you have this constant to-do list that is never ending, that is always like this invisible pressure that's constantly on your head. And even though you ended up spending the day giving more time and energy to your craft, which is what you want to be doing, you will end the day feeling like you didn't do enough, which is not how we want to be feeling. So the first step starts with acknowledging our finitude. I don't know how to pronounce this, but okay. But basically acknowledging that we are finite beings and that there's only so much we can do, and that's completely okay. I think that itself was a very important perspective shift that I took away from this book. Now, there's a very interesting analogy in the book. I don't remember the exact story of it, but there's this section where it tells you to sit down and list out 25 different things that you want to accomplish in your life. And then you order that based on your priorities. So whatever is the most important to you goes to number 1 and least important goes to number 25. So make that list in that order. Then the author tells you to take the first 5 things and make those your absolutely essential priorities in life. And then what's interesting is that he doesn't tell you to get to the other 20 once you finish these 5. Rather, he tells you to completely kind of ignore those or strike those off your list altogether, which seems very counterintuitive, but it makes complete sense when he explains it to you, because his point is that those are the tasks or those are the goals in your life that are not important enough for you for them to be in your top 5, but at the same time they are seductive enough for them to distract you from the things that you actually want to accomplish in life, which I thought was really interesting. And I think bringing that into your goal setting for the year even becomes so important. And I think right now, as artists and as creatives, especially if you're starting your art as a side hustle or business of any kind, once you do a lot of research online, which is what happened to me in the beginning of 2022, I did all this research and I was like, okay, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, I'm going to start an Etsy store, I'm going to start my own online store, I am also going to create this website, and I'm also going to do some consultancy. And believe it or not, I did all of those things in this year and more. I held offline workshops and a whole bunch of things. I started my Skillshare classes, and I think the mistake that I made in hindsight is that I tried to do all of it all at once. I made all of these things my top priority, but at the end of the day, you're going to realize that everything cannot be your top priority. You're going to have to prioritize and say, okay, these are the few things that I think are most essential for whatever reason, either because you think that that's the best way to showcase your art, or you think that's something that will help you make this profitable, or will help you make it a sustainable income source for you. So maybe first you prioritize something that's going to quickly give you revenue. So whatever that is for you, whatever your goals are, whatever you're looking to accomplish from your art practice and by monetizing your art practice, that's up to you. But you cannot do so many different things at the same time. You cannot have so many large projects happening at the same time. So that's an approach I'm really taking into 2023 while I'm setting my goals for the year. I'm not giving myself more than one major project to focus on per quarter of the year. So that's 4 major projects for the year, which itself is a lot. And then you'll have some few minor projects happening in between, which is completely fine. But I think it's very important to stay laser focused on your most important project at a time and then move from there. The author also recommends that you don't have more than 3 open projects at a time, which I found really helpful, especially as I'm ending the year. I had about 5 projects from November till the end of December that I needed to get done. But what I realized after reading this book, and it really resonated with me because I've been in that position, so I realized that if I'm going to try to make progress on all 5 projects at the same time, I'm not going to get anywhere. I'm just going to be jumping from one thing to another. I'm not going to make enough progress. None of them are going to get completed, and that serves nobody. So instead, I took the advice from the book and decided to stick to not more than 3 major projects projects at a time. And I'm really happy to say that I've been able to finish 3 of my projects, and now I just have 2 more projects that are in their fag end for me to get done before the year ends. And I'm just very happy because I was able to maintain my mental peace through this all, because I'm not feeling overwhelmed by having so many open projects at the same time. So once I strike one project off, then I go and drag another project into my list, so I don't have more than 3 open projects at a time. Another interesting piece of advice from the book was decide in advance what to fail at. And I'm going to read this section straight from the book. So it says, you will inevitably end up underachieving at something simply because your time and energy are finite. But the great benefit of strategic underachievement, that is, nominating in advance whole areas of your life in which you won't expect excellence of yourself, is that you focus time and energy more effectively. I feel like that's something very meaningful, because we can't expect ourselves to excel in every aspect of our life at all times, which is unfortunately what culture right now has taught us to do, that we just constantly have such high expectations from ourselves to be good at our jobs, to be a good partner, to keep our homes well, to cook well, to do all of these things well all at the same time. But say right now at this point in your life, if you feel, for example, your fitness is something that's really important to you and that's something you want to focus on, just keep in mind that while you are building a new habit and while you are getting into that routine, there will be some other areas of your life which may take a backseat just temporarily until this habit is nicely built and has become part of your life in such a way that it can be done on autopilot, and then you can focus your energy and time on the other aspects of your life. Because even for me, like over the last couple of months, I've started focusing on my fitness, and that has led to a lot of fatigue in my body, especially in the beginning, because my body is still getting used to it. I've not exercised a day in my life properly before this, but I realized that that's okay if it means that maybe I'm not able to keep my room as tidy as I would like to. For now, I'm okay with it just being tidy enough. And later, once I get used to my exercises and I'm no longer feeling tired because of it, I know that I will once again start keeping my room nice and tidy. So just be okay with few things just not going 100% to plan while you are working on something else, and that really changes your relationship with the things that you have to do and how you feel at the end of the day. So I think as you're setting your goals for the year, just keep all of this in mind. Be okay with the fact that things are not always going to go to plan. I know that for few people who are control freaks by nature, me included, it really feels horrible when things don't go to plan, when we have planned out a whole bunch of things for ourselves and unexpected events come in the way. You need to be okay with that, and you need to realize that that's a part of life, that's a part of living. Some days, your partner might want to talk to you, and you need to be able to give him or her that time and not be thinking about your tasks and not be thinking about everything that you need to finish that day while you are here in this moment having a conversation with somebody that's important to you. So those are things you need to just slowly start letting go of. I think that's something again that I've taken away from this book. And once you let go of that need to control every situation, you bring a lot of flow and ease into your work just automatically. And I've seen that happen with myself through this entire year, which is why I'm sharing it. I think it has really changed my approach to work. It has changed my relationship with my to-do list and the way I plan my tasks and my goals. And I hope that will be helpful for you as you plan your goals for the year. And I would definitely recommend giving this book a read, 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. The link is in the description if you want to check it out. But I think it's a must read for anybody who has had this kind of difficult relationship with their calendar, with their to-do list, with time in general. Definitely give that a read. I hope you have a wonderful new year with all of your goals being accomplished, because I know you can do it. Just be realistic about how you set your goals. Don't try to give yourself more than is actually possible to do. If you give yourself an impossible task, you're not going to be able to do it. You're going to feel bad about it for no reason because it was impossible to begin with. So give yourself an attainable number of tasks and just work at them and you will get there. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.